might just whip back to you, Kerry. For good or for bad. And it's still a bit cold in here, so we're not going to get it. Oh, that's not too bad. So if I teased, if I teased Kerry's diet out and went right through it, we could say, okay, Kerry, maybe you need to eat more protein. And you can see that there's two different colours. You've got this red area here, and then this is quite pale. Now, if this shows up in a certain area of the blood, we call that muscle weakness or lack of magnesium. So I can say, okay, maybe we need to remedy that. So there's just all these different markers, and there's 80 of them. So I can't go through all of them, but it gives a good overall picture of your internal health. And with your case history, that allows a direction of treatment. And then you can watch the change in your blood as it happens, I guess. But this is not too bad, Kerry, if this dries nicely. And this is the type of thing that would show up in a vegetarian. And Kerry's not a vegetarian, and her blood hasn't completely dried yet. But this is I guess the gaps in the protein that you'd see, and that would be right across the drop. So I could say, okay, this person eats, not a lot of protein. They're not blending their grains and their seeds at the same meal, which a lot of vegetarians don't do. So they're not getting that complete protein, and we can say, okay, that's what's happening. But this is okay, Kerry. Yeah. And I mean, there's other problems. There's heart problems that'll show up in the blood. Not that these are heart problems, Kerry, but what happens is the blood balloons and it gets this clear bulbous look to it. So if you've got a heart problem, that's how it'll show up in the blood. Neck and back issues show up in the blood as you've seen the dried drop, and you get lumps occurring in the blood, and I'll say, okay, and they're usually neck problems. So there's all these different things that'll show up in the blood. So it's a very, very good tool to give a good overview of the body. And then what I do is I take a photograph, and I can give a photograph of this, so you can take away a photo. So you know that I'm not lying when you come back and you say, well, what changes have happened? So you've got your photo. And I'll give you a couple of live slides and a couple of dried slides. And then you can watch the changes as they occur. So I think that's about it. So if you any questions, just throw them at me. It's a lot of information to take in. But it's a very, very good tool to give an overall view of your internal workings, if you like. So there's a lot of vitamin deficiencies that will show up that can be remedied quite quickly, and there's other things that will take longer to heal and longer to change. But in general, it gives a good overview of what's going on internally. Suzanne? No. But no. So, I mean, if there's a hormonal imbalance, it will show up. But most infertilities, a good deal of it's got to do with males. So it's all their sperm. Their sperm are just terrible these days. They're not motile, they're shrunken and everything like that. So if I do treat a woman if they're trying to get pregnant, if I can get the husband in, and sometimes it's really hard, and their blood will be sticking together, and that's what their sperm will be doing. It'll be clumping. So they'll need more fatty acids and things like this to separate them. So, yeah, infertility is usually the male issue rather than the female. And I mean, it is females, but vast majority of cases it will be the male. They don't talk about that, but it is, yeah. You've got some questions, surely, ladies.
So basically, how do you treat if Kerry's button showed up with some sort of an imbalance?
I'm heavily diet-based, so I don't like people taking a whole lot of supplements. So I would look at a diet, and it's a more sustainable approach to getting Bell, because you can't take a pill for the rest of your life. I used to be a chef, so I've got a good knowledge of food, how to cook it, what to do with it. So I just sit down and spend, most of the consult talking about what to do and how to do it, rather than... This takes about 5-10 minutes to whip through all of this, and then the rest of the consult would be about explaining how to make all those changes and what foods to select and things. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And how do you... Kerry? No? I'll talk with you later. Can you see me in my office later?
What does Kerry now need to do to rectify those things that you saw? You obviously need to eat the fish.
Yeah, I mean, fish is there's a whole lot of things, depending what type of fish you eat. Sardines are little tins of gold. They're small fish, they're low down on the food chain, they don't accumulate heavy metals. Them and Tommy Ruffs, I wouldn't eat anything else. Full of omega-3s, full of calcium, full of zinc. They're just, and it's a shame no one eats them. No one likes the tin, the poor old sardine. But they're a fantastic source of protein and everything, yeah. So if anyone will eat them, doesn't matter. Tomato sauce, oil, spring water, whatever. Yeah. Pardon? Yeah. How do you tart them up? Well, I think it's you either love them or you don't. It's a terrible thing. On rice, I think lots of tomato sauce will blanket, but a homemade tomato sauce will cover the flavour of sardines up. But because they're so strong, they're a very hard thing to mask. I've tried.
You can actually buy butterfly fresh sardines from Franco's for $8 a kilo.
I know,
Okay, they come from Thailand, but you just whack them in the pan and then you buy the lunches.
Yeah, I used to pickle them just in, lemon juice and salt. They're just delicious.
So cheap, don't you?
And they're incredibly cheap. They're fantastic. Yes?
Frozen market from Vietnam.
Frozen?
Marco, B-A-C-O.
Oh. If it's a fish, it's probably a fish. Is it a freshwater fish? I'm not quite sure of it. And deep sea fish and saltwater fish are going to be higher in the omega-3s than all other fish. And I mean, I don't know how they're farmed, I don't know what they're fed, there's all that sort of issue. And farmed salmon, they give those farmed salmon lots and lots and lots and lots of supplements. Full of antibiotics, they're full of a whole lot of stuff. So you're better off eating small fish. This is a take-home message. Tommy Ruffs. Whiting, anything that's tiny. Yeah.
Are you saying that keep away from big fish?
I am, yeah, because they accumulate. They're a lot older, and they magnify what they eat. Yeah, so there's tuna of very high in mercury, and that's common knowledge now. But swordfish and all those really big fish, they're years and years old, and they accumulate, and they what's called bio-intensify the minerals that they eat within their system because they don't get rid of them. Salmon's a very short-lived fish, but the farmed stuff is just full of, they give it colouring and, yeah. They have to give it beta-carotene to give it its orange colour. Yeah. So in the wild, salmon would eat lots of algae and that's how they get their beta carotene, and that's how they get orange. In a farm, they don't get it, so they have to supplement with beta carotene, which is orange, to give it that really orange flavour, or really orange colour. Yeah. Yeah, back on the sardines, you can't go wrong. There's $1 a tin, they're just fantastic. Okay, that's it.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah, that's it. Okay, thank you.